Answer, Chapter 2, Microorganisms, Friends or Foe. We are here with the solution. Fill in the blanks. Dear learner, the purpose of reading out is so that you can hear it as podcast. When you're not able to see, you can able to hear it while traveling or anywhere. So fill in the blanks. First is, the study of microorganisms is known as microbiology. The bread dough rises because of the production of carbon dioxide. Pathogens are the microorganism that causes diseases. Sodium benzoate and potassium metabisulfite are two chemical preservatives. Aspergillus is a fungus that causes food poisoning. Next is, match the following: ringworm, fungus, Clostridium, food poisoning, anthrax, cattle, lactobacillus, curd, methane, biogas reactor. This is tick the correct option. C part, the process that helps milk to last longer but does not kill all microbes present in it is known as pasteurization. Second, rust of wheat is caused by fungus. Third, medicines containing killed or weakened pathogens and used to prevent infectious diseases are called vaccines. Fourth, which of the following reproduces only inside a host cell? This is virus. Fifth, a disease caused by virus and spread by an insect is dengue. Now let's move to the question answer. In brief, why are viruses considered as being at the borderline between living and non-living things? Viruses considered as being at the borderline between living and non-living things because they are unique in exhibiting the characteristic of both living and non-living things. A virus behaves like a non-living when it is outside a host cell. Once a virus enters a host cell, it starts to behave like a living being. What is fermentation? Second question. How is this process useful in the food and beverage industries? An anaerobic process, though, through which sugar and carbohydrates are converted into alcohol or acid and carbon dioxide by yeast, that is, yeast is a microorganism, is called fermentation. Fermentation is useful in the food and beverage industries, like creation of yogurt, pickle, bread, and other bakery and culinary products. Production of alcoholic biofuels and other beverages such as beer, wine, and liqueurs. It helps in making tasty dosa, bread, and cake. Question number 3. In the absence of microorganisms, the earth would become a heap of dead plants and animals. Justify this statement. In the absence of microorganisms, the decomposition of dead plants and animals will not take place, turning earth into heap of dead plants and animals. Decomposition also helps in mineral cycle in which all constituent materials of a living being are sent back to the environment. So it can be said that in the absence of microorganisms, the earth would become a heap of dead plants and animals. Question number 4. Munna observes that the yield of wheat growing in his field has reduced in the current year. He gets the soil tested and the report confirms the deficiency of one nutrient. Accordingly, he advised to grow peas after harvesting wheat. Name the nutrients found insufficient. How do you think growing peas will help in replenishing the soil? Since wheat requires enough nitrogen and other nutrition for proper growth, therefore the soil is deficient in nitrogen. Pea plants give shelter to rhizobium bacteria. These bacteria carry out nitrogen fixation in soil. Thus, pea plants help in replenishing nitrogen in soil. Question number 5. Why does it take less time to prepare curd in summers as compared to preparing it in winters? In summers, the average temperature in India is around 40 degrees Celsius. Microorganisms reproduce at a faster rate between 20 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade. Milk is converted into curd by faster multiplication of lactobacillus during summer. They reproduce at a much slower rate when temperature is below this range. This is why it takes less time to prepare curd in summer as compared to preparing it in winters. Question number 6. How are the following diseases transmitted? Malaria, common cold, tetanus, typhoid. Malaria is by female Anopheles mosquito, that is protozoans. Common cold through cough droplets in air. Viruses, tetanus through soil and cut by rusted iron articles. Typhoid through contaminated food and water. Question number 7. What are antibiotics? How are they produced? Give two examples of this. Antibiotics are chemicals that kill or inhibit the growth of harmful microorganisms. Antibiotics are used to treat or prevent some types of bacterial infection. These are prepared from microorganisms. Two examples are penicillin and tetracycline. Now again the E part, answer the following question. Question number 1, microorganisms are very useful in manufacturing different food items. Explain the above statement. Microorganisms are very useful in manufacturing different food items in many ways, like curd and cheese formation. Lactobacillus is a bacterium for curd formation. Some bacteria and fungi are also responsible for curd formation. Fermentation process in bakery. Fungi like yeast reproduce rapidly and produce carbon dioxide. This gas, when trapped in dough or batter, causes it to increase in volume and make it fluffy and soft. This is known as fermentation. Alcoholic beverages. Fungi like yeast convert natural sugars present in cereals and fruits into alcohol, which is used to make alcoholic beverages. Acetic acid is also produced by similar process. Yes, here should be. Full stop. Question number 2, give reason for the following. Yeast is added to the batter used to make dosas. Yeast is added to the batter as yeast reproduce rapidly and reproduce carbon dioxide and produce carbon dioxide. This gas, when trapped in batter, causes it to increase in volume and make it fluffy and soft. B, it is important to brush one's teeth before going to bed. It is important to brush one's teeth before going to bed because bacteria can grow on food particles that remains between our teeth. Acid produced by these bacteria corrode the tooth enamel and causes cavities. Hence, it is important to brush one's teeth before going to bed. C, reducing the quantity of salt in pickle can cause it to go bad soon. Salt and sugar are preservatives. Salt reduces the water content of pickle and make it unavailable for the growth of microorganisms. As a result, pickle gets preserved. If the quantity of salt is reduced, then there may be increase in growth of microorganisms, which will lead to spoilage of the pickle. Next question. D, food from puffed or enlarged cans should not be consumed. Canning involves cooking food and sealing it in sterile cans or jars. This is followed by boiling the container to eliminate any bacterial contamination. However, food preserved by canning is at immediate risk of spoilage once it is opened. Puffed or enlarged can signifies the spoilage of food that must not be consumed to avoid food poisoning. E, when using frozen food items, one should take out only the required quantities. Thawed food should never be refrozen. Thawed means एक बार जब निकाल लिया गया तो दोबारा उसको डालना in the fridge. So answer is one should take out only required quantity of frozen food, as at freezing temperature the chemical changes at significantly reduced rate. Although some are killed by freezing, most bacterial spores and a large number of organisms survives and get revitalizes when the food is thawed. Therefore, food must not be refrozen. Question number 3, how do communicable diseases spread? Suggest ways to prevent the following disease: tuberculosis, athlete's foot, cholera. Communicable disease spread from one person to another through air, water, food, physical contact, or insects. Like tuberculosis can be prevented by vaccination. Athlete's foot can be prevented by maintaining good personal hygiene. Cholera can be prevented by proper disposal of waste and using disinfected water. Question number 4, what are pathogens? Name 2 pathogens each that causes in plant and in animals. Answer, pathogens include viruses, bacteria, fungi, and parasites that invade the body and can cause health issues. Anthrax, HIV, and the Zika virus, among many others, are examples of pathogens that cause serious diseases. A, 2 pathogens that cause diseases in plant are tobacco mosaic virus, appearance of uneven spots and discoloration on the leaves when a plant is affected by this virus, that is tobacco mosaic virus. Second is rust of wheat fungus. In this, diseased plants show rust-colored orange patches on the infected plant parts. B. Two pathogens that cause disease in animals are bacteria, that is anthrax infects cattle, and virus rabies infects dogs and monkeys. Fifth, Mohan bought samosas from a roadside vendor and ate it. After some time, he felt nausea and started vomiting. He had severe pain in the abdominal region and suffered from diarrhea. What could be the reason for this condition? What is it called? How could it be prevented? Answer: this could happen due to the presence of bacteria and other microbes in food or consumption of contaminated food. This disease is called food poisoning. It can be prevented by few simple ways, like food must be properly prepared and stored, using refrigerator to store food to avoid growth of microorganisms. Person who handle or prepare food must maintain cleanliness and hygiene. Question number 6. Which diseases the following children are most likely to suffer from? Ramu drinks water from nearby lake. This water is neither boiled nor disinfected. And these are the questions. Ashu does not take a bath every day. He maintains poor personal hygiene. Let's see the answer. So in this case, if Ramu is drinking water from a nearby lake, this water is neither boiled nor disinfected, then he may suffer from cholera. Ashu does not take a bath every day. He maintains poor personal hygiene. Ringworm will affect him. Pulkit has been bitten by an infected street dog. He might suffer from rabies. Sohan is living in an area where the population is very high. He does not use a mosquito net while sleeping or insect repellent creams while playing in the open. He may suffer from malaria. Mohan was with two of his friends who were coughing and sneezing. They were suffering from common cold. One of these friends did not keep a handkerchief in front of his mouth while coughing and sneezing. So Mohan might get common cold. Value based question. Soham and his wife are overjoyed of the birth of their daughter. They share their joy with their relatives and friends. Soham's wife decides to take the daughter for her first round of vaccinations. However, Soham's mother does not like the idea of putting the child through the discomfort of injection. Soham explains to his mother in a polite and patient way that this slight discomfort and pain is necessary, as it shall ensure that the child lives a long and healthy life. So was Soham right in supporting his wife's decision? List 10 values that were demonstrated by his behavior. How does vaccination help in providing immunity? Find out the names of the 5 diseases that can be prevented by timely vaccination of children. The answers are: the 2 values demonstrated by Soham are caring and responsible. Answer 2: vaccines boost our immune system by developing immunity against disease causing pathogens. Vaccines prevent us from many fatal diseases. It also reduces the risk of infection transmission from one person to another. Answer 3: 5 diseases that can be prevented by timely vaccination of children are diphtheria, tetanus, polio, measles, and rubella. Thank you. That's all. Hope it will help. Thank you.